In our previous episode, we spent an entire day adventuring through the coastal countryside and wildlife of Cape Town, South Africa. In this episode, we're staying closer to the city and exploring the local sights and bites that represent its vibrant, multicultural community. From famous streets and historical mosques to home-cooked Malay dishes and a 14-course African feast. Let's get to it.
We're the Lockwoods, and we're traveling the world to experience up close and in person all the natural wonders and distinct cultures that our kids would otherwise see only in textbooks and TV. We're meeting back up with our guide, and we're heading into town for a little tour.
How are you doing?
We're good. How are you doing, Dean?
I'm well, thank you.
It's about a 5-minute drive. Dean is gonna drop us off with a local guide, and we're gonna meet Rafik.
This is Phil.
Phil.
Pleased to meet you, Phil. Welcome.
We're starting things off in the Bo-Kaap neighborhood of Cape Town. Now, Bo means top, Kaap means Cape. We're at the top of Cape Town, that's where it got the name. And the buildings behind me right here on Whale Street were built in the 1700s, and it is one of the beautiful parts of this city or of this neighborhood because of these vibrant colors.
This is still a residential area, but most of the residents are descendants of the enslaved people who originally lived in these homes.
When some of those enslaved people were brought here from various regions on this side of the planet back in the mid-1600s and beyond, they were stripped of their original names and given very interesting names. If those slaves arrived here in February, they were given the name February. If they arrived in April, they were given the name April. One other naming convention that they used was to give them biblical names, but it would only be one name, like Cher or Madonna, for example.
There's a large Muslim population in this neighborhood, and that can be traced back to its origins. This mosque over here was opened in 1794, and it was a place where people could go in and they were free inside the mosque. So it gave them a lot of hope. And then once they stepped outside of the mosque, they were enslaved again. They loved having that source of hope in this neighborhood.
So 1794 makes it the oldest mosque in all of South Africa.
Family is really important to the culture here and respecting your elders. So I told Colt that he has to respect me when I'm older, right?
Yeah, sure, I guess, maybe. Probably.
They have a member of their community here who's 97 years old, and so when people greet her, they will kiss her on the head. That's a sign of respect. And I asked Colt, are you gonna kiss me on my head?
When you're 97, maybe.
I don't think I should have to wait that long.
Fireman pool.
These beautiful colors were not always here. When the buildings were first built, they were basically white. And while you did start to see some colors, it would have been lighter pastels back in the day. And then in the 1930s, there was a forced government buyout of this entire neighborhood, all of these homes. And they said that all government housing needed to be white. So they returned to that whitewash finish. And it wasn't until the later 1900s when you started to see colors again.
And it wasn't until the 2000s that you started to see the really bright colors that are here today.
This is the world famous Kapini Street, and it is the 5th most photographed street on all of Shutterstock, the stock image source. It's also been voted the 3rd most beautiful street on Instagram.
There's a store on the side of the road, and they make sculptures and animals out of recycled materials. And everybody watching this channel know I love geckos. So I got a little gecko made out of recycled materials. And I love it. It's a little keychain too. You can connect it from the tongue. But yay!
That horn in that car, they're actually selling fish. So they blow the horn to get the community's attention, and if you're looking to purchase some fish, you just flag them down, run up to the truck, and they get a sale. Just like ice cream trucks. There's no ice cream, only fish.
It's actually a tradition that goes back so far that it used to be done in wagons instead of in Toyota pickup trucks. One of the big challenges that this community has to deal with is gentrification. They got into a period where a lot of people outside of the neighborhood were coming in, buying real estate, maybe remodeling with no affinity for the culture or the heritage of this area, and then flipping those homes. So it really started to eat into the neighborhood culture itself. And there was a situation where there was zoning approval for 15 new mid-rise developments here. So it was going to completely change the landscape and the makeup of the community. The community came together and they demonstrated, and they were able to have this declared a national heritage area, which now is going to drastically limit the amount of development like that can happen in the neighborhood.
The second challenge that this neighborhood faces are tourists. They come in, they get their pictures, their Instagram shots, but they don't learn enough about the history and the culture of this area. So we started with the base, the history, the culture, and now we're going to do the taste. Our favorite part is having the food here. And it is its own cuisine. It's Cape Malay. So it's born from the history and it's evolved into its own dishes.
And here's a very special tidbit about the very home that we're going into right now. If this had been 4 years ago, right before COVID, we would be bumping into Prince Harry and Meghan Markle because they came here and did the exact same experience that we're about to do.
And it's one of the colorful ones on the most popular street. It's this pink house. I think it's even better when we find these experiences where we can go and meet people where they live and experience their home cooking versus only going to a restaurant. We're in Shamala and Abraham's home, and Shamala is doing the cooking for us, and she has her own personal twist on it. Just like if you're at home, you have your own special recipes, but it's got a lot of Indian and Malay influence. Chicken samosas, and also they call them chili bites. This is like a vegetarian snack. It is spinach, chickpea flour, I see onion, carrot, potatoes, and she says traditionally they have a little bit more dough, but she likes them with less dough and more veggies. I like that too. We can hardly hold Colt back. Okay, yeah, he's grabbing one right now. You get it, bud. Are you gonna use the sauce?
Yes, use the sauce.
Okay.
Let's put a little bit of sauce in your plate. There you go. Okay, so now you dip it.
Ooh, it reminds me of something. I don't even know what.
No?
Tastes kind of like a sweet wasabi roll.
Sweet wasabi, huh? Let's smell. Oh, I know exactly what this is. I love the smell. Cumin, that's it. It's cumin that he's thinking of and that what I smell. It's so powerful, it's good. Cumin, coriander, and crushed chilies. I'm gonna try some too, with a little sauce. Ooh, I am so messy.
This is a chicken samosa. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. It looks good. Smells like chicken and cheese, cheddar.
I love that in this community, it's very natural and accepted to just stop by other people's homes and you're gonna be treated to things like this. In the United States, not so much. Maybe certain neighborhoods, like where I grew up, but not where we live now. You know, you gotta call ahead. I mean, it's practically a running joke that if you do that, the host of the home is going to be uncomfortable with it, but not here. Everybody is just so welcoming and warm and neighborly, and I could definitely live in a place like this.
I was about to say, in America, if a random person came into your home, they're not going to be very welcoming. And here, they're like, let me give you some food. Tasty food. Naan's awesome. Technically, this isn't naan. Technically, it's roti.
We have even more food, and we're gonna start with some chicken curry. So these are big chunks of potato. So get one of those, and then big chunks of chicken. And I'm gonna make sure I get some of this sauce for it. Colt already covered the roti. Now there's a little bit of salsa right here. And I'm gonna get a little bit of that. So it just kind of cools it down, some of the spices, and then some rice. This is fragrant rice, a staple in the cuisine here like in so many other cultures. You can do this super tender potato, didn't even need to break out the knife. I'm gonna put some of that salsa on there. Now the chicken. This salsa really is good on there. Not just, I mean, it's not spicy food. The coolness of the salsa really contrasts well with the warmth of the food. That is delicious and a completely different curry flavor profile from what you would get, I think, in India.
It smells like there maybe is a little bit of butter in it. It smells really good. Shamala is so thoughtful that she makes beans just in case the guide forgets to tell her that there's a vegetarian in the group. And I'm not vegetarian, but I love vegetables. So I've got to try it, and I love beans. So it's made of butter beans, a lot of the same curry spices, chili beans, butter beans and baked beans, and it's in like a tomato curry sauce. The sauce is so good. Oh my gosh, and it's spicy at the end. I love spicy food. Yes. And that's what she explained, the salsa. Like when we think of salsa in the US or in Mexico, anywhere in the Americas, we're thinking that salsa is supposed to add spice. But she actually has the tomato and onion mixture to cool things down. So this spread that she made for us is typical for a dinner here. And we're having it for lunch, but we're gonna take a long break after this because we also have a really fantastic dinner later. They've got pictures from when Harry and Meghan came to visit them. And look, Look at Meghan Markle right here. I'm practically wearing the same outfit. This isn't even originally my dress. It belongs to my bestie, Rocio, and she gave it to me because they used to travel nomadically. They have their own YouTube channel, Mom Duty, that you've got to check out. And now they've settled in BGC, so she's not gonna be giving away any of her clothes to me because she has a closet now. And if you wanna check out that closet, you should check out their episodes.
Dessert time!
Ooh, careful,
The
bud.
best time! We have a kook sister, which is cake sister, because kook here means cake. And it smells like a cinnamon donut and looks like a coconut donut. Ooh, it tastes just like a cinnamon bread with a syrup on top. I don't get much of the coconut. Oh, I got a lot of coconut in there. It's so good.
Colt hit the nail on the head about how they make this. It's very similar to a donut, and they put sugar water all over it after it's deep fried and coconut on top. But the spices that they use in this, opposed to vanilla for a donut, she uses ginger, cardamom, and cinnamon. And when you bite into it, there's like so much sugar water that really seeped into it. So when you bite, it's like all the juice, that sugar water comes out. It's really sweet. We're sad to leave Shamala's home. We're super full and we have a big meal later that I mentioned. So we've got to find some other things to do in Cape Town to work our metabolism up a little bit. So we're meeting back up with Dean and moving on to the next.
Thank you.
We're sadly saying goodbye to our guy Dean. He was phenomenal. He was fantastic. Like after he got to know us a little bit better, he started changing some things around and it made this experience perfect for us.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Dean was nice enough to give me a shirt with penguins on it because he knows I love animals. Speaking of animals, where we're going right now is a little trailer with reptiles in it.
Yesterday, we were walking over to Victoria Wharf and Colt passed this little trailer and it's right up his alley. He loves snakes, you know, he loves reptiles. So we're gonna see what it's all about because he wouldn't let it go. He's been bugging us about it ever since he saw it yesterday. All right, so Colt's a little bummed that he can go in and he can see them, but he can't touch them. You know, he loves to touch the animals, but it's too stressful for them.
Those are huge rattlesnakes. Holy crap.
Yeah, they're the largest of the rattlesnake species.
The largest of the rattlesnake
they're probably
species.
one.
When on the bottom, that's a rattlesnake?
Yeah,
They're
that's
the largest of all the different.
Look at this guy. Wow, look at it looks like the pattern on his mouth. They look like teeth.
Oh my god, this
Norway
is so
python.
cute. What is that? Is that a mojave? Wait, what is it?
Rattlesnake.
Western diamondback.
North America's most common rattlesnake.
Couple of Westerners.
There's about 35 species of rattlesnake.
It's a green mamba. Super venomous. What even?
Brown
house snake? Oh, those are brown snakes. Wait,
Mole
no,
snake.
mole snake. Oh wait, no, that's a boa constrictor. He said a lot of them are non-venomous, but most of them are venomous. Like those guys, I want to hold one of those the most.
I just can't believe that guy looks like he has teeth on the outside.
Well, bud, was that worth 30 Rand?
Definitely worth 30 rand.
Even I thought that was pretty cool. It's neat to see the venomous snakes in particular. I don't really care at all about the python, well, the constrictor. But when you see a venomous snake close up like that, I just think it's awesome because that's the closest you can really ever get. You do that in the wild, you're probably gonna be bitten, but that's really exciting for me.
And we are going to be in the wild soon. We have another stop after Cape Town, and then we have 2 different safari parks that we're visiting in South Africa. Cannot wait for those. It's really what we came to South Africa for, was to experience the animals, the wildlife, and the safaris, but we couldn't pass up Cape Town and we had to learn about the culture and the history here too. We're gonna keep walking around the marina here. It's a man-made harbor and it's right next to our hotel. We're staying at the one and only in Cape Town. It is a gorgeous resort and we show you a bit of it in our previous episode, so you should check that out. But after we walk around, it's dinner time and we have a really, really awesome dinner planned.
It's already dinner time, and when we asked some locals where we should go for dinner, they said, you don't want to just have a meal, you want to have an authentic African experience. You've got to go to Gold. So that's where we are right now because we have a 14-course meal in front of us.
Hi. This is already an experience. The decorations, the people that we pass, they're so friendly. They're pinching Colt's cheeks, right? It smells like bread. Oh my gosh, look at this stage.
You can already tell this is going to be quite a production. This place is huge. I had no idea there was like a full-on stage. It's like we're in a small concert venue. This is really over the top, and the smell of that bread or yeast or whatever it is making me so hungry.
I'm not worried about it. We've got our awesome server Sharon. She's part of the entertainment, she says. And she's from Zimbabwe. She's recommended this wine. It is a Pinotage. That is a local grape to South Africa. So if you've heard that South Africa has great wines, it's that Pinotage specifically. It smells nice. That's good.
Very nice.
Yeah. Get some of that terroir, that South African terroir. Cheers, my love.
Before really digging into that vino, I actually got a good traditional African cocktail called the dawa. It's honey, lime, and maybe a little bit of vodka. Now the honey is on the very bottom of the cocktail, and it comes with one of these very authentic little honey things. And I have to muddle it myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and just push the lime down in there and muddle the whole thing here. That's really good. Very tart from the lime, very fresh. Just the right amount of sweetness from the honey so that it's not too tart.
With the 14 courses that we're gonna have tonight, it's gonna be from all over the region of Africa, which is the second largest landmass on Earth. So it covers a lot of different cultures from Northern Africa, Sub-Saharan, and South Africa.
Okay, welcome to Go Restaurant and welcome to Africa!
Pick up your drum. We're gonna play some music together. We start together, we'll finish together.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, we go! 3, 4.
Our first course is here, and that bread we were smelling, love it, but this meat here is ostrich. It's Namibian ostrich salad, and then we also have a fish pate. So the performances, there are 3 main performances, and that I think is still part of the first one. And I was worried, thinking we're away from the stage, we're up here, are we gonna miss some of the interaction? Obviously not. And the dishes, we just got our second course, but actually 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is coming too. They're coming in chunks. So we have a Malawi sweet potato cake, Zosa and Vino spinach patty, and Zimbabwe herb dip. And then the chicken wings will be here in just 1 second. Well, here's the chicken. So they brought 2 with spice and 2 without spice for the kids. Is it pretty hot? You look like it's pretty hot.
It's like a jalapeno.
And let me introduce the rest of the set that they put on the table. This is a Zanzibar fish curry, South African venison, North African couscous, and an East African kuchumbari. We're way north now. We've got a Moroccan chicken pie. This one is really good. This is probably my favorite of all the dishes we've gotten, and it's the last savory dish. Next, we have some dessert. We have a local dessert. This is a Cape Malay biscuit, and we have a cinnamon and cardamom spiced ice cream. I almost forgot the most important part. The biscuit is shaped like Africa. So we ate Africa, and now we're gonna eat Africa.
TIA, this is Africa.
I think it was a wild experience, super fun, but now it's time to go to bed.
I feel like this entire day, this entire experience has been very transformative. I mean, we talk about experiencing other cultures, but sometimes that just comes down to having certain foods or going to certain tours, seeing certain churches. But today, for me in particular, was just very unique in that it really made me feel like it was a part of a local culture, and I got a perspective that we've never had before, and it really made me respect every component of that culture that I've ever encountered throughout my entire life. So I'm really happy that we got to experience these things today, and tomorrow we have a whole new set of adventures ahead of us. We are heading away from the city to do some really cool stuff, and if you want to see what those things are, you're just gonna have to like, subscribe, and comment so that you can be there with us. Let's go.
My eyelashes hurt.
You're like Grandmary.
I got yeah, I got chocolate when I smell it.
At our second course, but actually this is our 4th, 5th, 6th, and 5th is coming too. That was so out of 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is.
I think this entire day, this entire experience was transformative. We always, one second. Hey, hon.